Welcome to Deep Thought. Media promotes the lowest images of Black culture. Now, this is very important. This is a very important consideration. This is something we need to be thinking about. Because think about something. When people say Black culture, what's the image that pops in your mind? Think about it. I just said Black culture. Some dudes walking around with their pants off their ass and a bunch of tattoos and everything, acting crazy, can't speak well. Those the men or women walking around, acting all loud, boisterous, everything, twerking. Whenever there's some crime involving a young Black man or sometimes a young Black woman, we always get that image. And stuff. We get the worst thing about them, and it's never a good image and everything. All right. Think about psychologically what they do. Somebody sees somebody that look like them in the media. Hence, I'm going to tell you what, that's why you have the problems with some police officers. That's why you have the problems with some Karens and everything. Well, Karens get on everybody's nerves. No disrespect to someone whose name is actually Karen, but y'all know what I mean. That's why you can have a very well-educated Black man going into a high-end apartment that he had to use a code to get in, and he would be challenged as to why he lives there. Why? Because the Karen usually, who's seeing that, has that image of a lower-class Black man. Understand something. That's a dangerous thing. You promoting that image. But and it's a real image. Let's just be real. It's real, it's not fake. But it's just one thing. There's not enough talk about the different social classes within the Black community. Indeed, it's such a problem that on my main site, when I talk about different classes, I've had some Black guys, or presumably Black, come on there and say, oh, it's all one class or something. Because it's real and everything, but it's not the only class. How often do we see the images? Like I always talk about doing some stuff with more upper class Black men and women. My favorite was an upper class event, and it was nothing but professional Black men in there and professional Black women. And the thing was, everybody was clean cut, had suits. No crazy haircuts, conservative haircuts, everything. If anybody had tattoos, they were well hidden, very well hidden. I ain't gonna say none of them did, but they were hidden. And, you think about that, and you got that image. And that's one image. That's just the upper class. How come we don't see the image of the good, blue-collar, hard-working church guys, church men and women, church people? The Black church in the Black community, that's the dominant institution. In fact, in America, the most churched group are Black Americans. The most churched group. The most likely to be in some of these mega churches and stuff and dressing well. And they not thugs. They might have some tattoos, but classy. They ain't have their image. Their images are good. They trying to do what's right. Are they perfect? Nobody's perfect. That's one image. And then you got another image of just some hardworking blue collar Black people. Then you still got the professionals. Indeed, one of the images that's promoted is of the Black man not doing well in life, yet studies have shown. In fact, I'll see if I can find a link to a study that says 6 out of 10 Black men are middle class. But is that promoted? Either by, racists and some divestors? They want to believe otherwise. They focus on the 4 to 10. And even then, out of that 4 to 10, I'm willing to bet most of them are trying to work. They're just not at that middle class level yet. So you're talking what? 1 out of 10 who's just some knucklehead. But do we see that image? See, understand something. Media has become a weapon. It's propaganda. You use the images because I'm going to tell you what. The mental images, it affects people's perceptions. It affects their business. People use it to either control people or to make money. And indeed, sometimes those images, negative images, make other people feel better about their lot in life. That's something major and stuff. Now, it wouldn't be a problem if you showed a variety. Like I said, you do have those negative elements. They there. You can't get rid of them. But balance it out with the other ones. Because even when they try to show like, well, even you notice something, when they'll show like images of, blacks doing something else, they're usually comedies. Haven't you noticed that? They're usually comedies, so you're not going to take it as serious and stuff. And it's usually going on the same level. Like one of the things I liked was, one was a show about, even when they show upper class, at least on the entertainment side, it tends to be issues or something. They got to make it a drama. I mean, I give them that, but show some other stuff. That's why it's important for black media to step up and, if necessary, in this day and age, bogart it. Because those are dangerous images. What if a future scientist or engineer, a future attorney, a future doctor sees the images themselves and they say, oh, this is me. This is how I should behave. Like that's a very important thing. I'm going to tell you what, despite all the trouble Bill Cosby got in lately, that was his mission to promote like a positive image. When back in '84, when the Cosby Show came out, I'll never forget, there were plenty of people, primarily white people, say, oh, that's not real. That's not real. I would call them on it. I was in college. I called them on it. I say, well, wait a minute. I went to a Catholic high school. It was mostly young black men. They came from families like that. They came from families like that. Hold up. Nah, People were saying, oh, it don't happen. Oh, they will be fussing. Like so-called liberals were saying that. I was like, oh, no, this is real. And then the follow-up to the Cosby Show, the spinoff, A Different World, which showed, initially it followed Denise Huxtable to college, but then, she got pregnant. Lisa Bonet got pregnant in real life. And then, they just kept going. I'm going to tell you how powerful an image that was. Enrollment it was said that enrollment at historically black colleges tripled during that period because they showed like Different World. Like that's a show I would love to see remade because it was one of the few shows featuring black actors that featured a variety. You had all the social classes, all the nuances of the black community was in that show. You had the working class guy working up. You had the hustler woman. You had the bougie princess, the black upper class princess. You had the guy from a family, rich family. You had it all. And that was very important. It was a very important image. So I'm going to tell you what, in the media, that's the main thing. If we could show that image, like black media, that's very important. And that the clown stuff either, because I'm going to be real, some of the clown stuff is shown, because that's what somebody's comfortable with. Like a powerful show that showed a dignified black man, even though he was working class, was Rock. And a college professor, a black female college professor, a friend of mine, she pointed out, like, once it was off the air, you couldn't find it for a very long time. Still can't, if you really think about it. And nobody talks about it. But you had, yes, he was a garbage man, but he was a garbage man with some pride who actually worked himself up. He was actually able to get a home. I mean, not just take care of his home and everything, but get property. I think the final of it was he had run for like office or something. I think, please tell me. Because one of the things they did around that time, they started moving it around a bit. It was hard to catch up with like the last season. Now, I'm going to tell you something else powerful about Rock, too. They did the second season live. It wasn't, and they even did stuff to let you know, yeah, it was live. They read an article or something from that day. That's how powerful it was, but it was a very powerful show, and it showed a powerful image. So that's the thing. I want y'all to think about that. Think about that. But the thing is, even now, And I mean, you even got social media. How often? Yeah, they show some positive stuff, but most of the stuff is negative. I want y'all to think about that. So anyway, I want y'all to really think about that. And I would have a call, an urging for any one of you who has some type of media. If you got a camera or something, because that's one of the things I want to do. Yeah, I can only say body games for so long, y'all. But well, I got some projects coming. I'll let y'all know when something drops. It's out of my control. But anyway, we need that media, and we need media promoting powerful black images. So anyway, I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.